My mindset change for you guys this week in my keynote is how to fuel your MRR growth with mindset play. Now, one of the big challenges that we have, and my job here is to change your brain. Execution is so key in everything that we're working on. And being a leader, how many CEOs do we have in the room? Owners, CEOs, founders. So almost everyone in this room, I'd say 3/4 of this room, also online, I can't see your hands, but put a 1 in the chat, right? Almost all of us in this room are leaders. So I want you to think about how important it is that you are putting a stake in the ground and saying, I have to be the one that leads my ship. Now, it's a lonely journey sometimes. Those same people, how many of you feel really alone and on an island at times, right? It's hard. Like, this is hard stuff to do. So you have to be the one, and I'm going to try and help you with that. That's part of my job and part of my role here, is to help you guys go down the next step. And the MSP industry right now, it's going through a lot of changes. We've definitely seen, if we go back, I'm going to go back to probably the first seismic shift that we saw. Kevin's yelling at me to stay in the middle. You can't give me the damn stage if I got to stay in the fucking middle, bro. Come on. I don't know what the point is if we do that. Give me a second. I don't even know what to say about that. But think about all the changes that we saw. If we go back to 2000, we kind of saw our first seismic shift. We went from a traditional MSP straight out to, we got hit with COVID. Kind of overnight it happened. And we had to completely transition over to being remote first MSP. So that was seismic shift number 1. Then over the next 2 to 3 years, we saw cybersecurity hit us pretty hard. MSPs were not ready for that, even though I'm a firm believer, and I get a lot of flack for this, but I'm a firm believer that MSPs were kind of responsible for the cybersecurity problems we have now, because we kind of let the clients dictate the path for a long time based on a lot of different variables, and I get a lot of heat for it, but if you really think about it, it's kind of true. But that was seismic shift number 2. And now we're watching seismic shift number 3, which is a combination of the election, the economy, and AI are kind of all together right now. Changing this entire industry, because we have the end user consumer, I think, almost believing that it's going to be easier to do IT because of AI, right? Do you think that's accurate? They think that it's easier to do your job because of AI. We can replace our staff. We can replace our techs. We can do all these things. We can save money by doing all these things a different way. And I've seen more hardship in the MSP world right now than I've ever seen, even though it is the best time ever to own an MSP. So let's talk about what that means. Why is it the best time ever? Those seismic shifts create opportunity. Now, you have to be executing on the backside the consistent, regular things, the discipline pieces, in order to see that opportunity become realized. And when you run into struggle, instead of running from the potential hardship, because what most people do when they run into struggle, what do? Anyone want to say when they run into struggle, what do most people do? They go to a place that they're comfortable with. They go to something that's familiar. They want to fall back on what they used to do that already worked for them in some, even if it didn't work 100%, if they saw 1% success, most people try and fall back on that. Versus, and I'm a sports guy, Cindy's a sports guy, Lindsay's trying to be a sports guy. She took up golf recently, and she's trying, she's working on it. But most people, and I'll just take a look at golf, and I'm a pretty avid golfer. When I struggle, and I look at my game, I'm very good short game. I'd say pretty decent off the tee. Middle irons are my worst. How much better would my golf game get if all I focused on was putting? Where I struggle is middle irons. I need to focus on what I'm not good at to improve my game. Versus, think about business, think about when people run into adversity, almost every single time we fall back on things we're comfortable with and familiar with. So we have to take that. I'm going to talk a lot about that as we go here today, but we have to take that and we have to put that in our back pocket and say, this is what we need to be doing when we run into adversity. Because like I said, I've seen more MSP hardship this year in 2025 than I've ever seen. And yes, even through COVID. Because the thing that happened with COVID, what's funny is even though there was hardship there, MSPs were actually really needed a lot because people were forced to change overnight almost. And what did they have to do that was different? They had to work from home, exactly. So they were like, okay, I don't know how to run my, so the phone worked versus every other industry. There's entire industries that got shut down during COVID time, whereas MSP actually, even though we had to pivot, we saw a blossom and we felt needed. So it's really important to understand that all of this that we're seeing right now is driven by multiple market changes. Clients actively wanting cheap IT. Now, I want you to think about most of your clients that you have, most of the prospects you talk to. They have in their brain, and this is all the crux of the run the play mindset, mind you. So most of the clients and the prospects you have, their mindset around IT, technology, MSP, computers, is the very first day they bought a computer or got a tech or got any type of technology at all, this is how it was run. In their brain, it hasn't evolved much. So it is the whole point of run the play is we have to change their brain to think differently. What does Cindy say? Times have what? Times have changed. We have to do things differently. I had someone in this room tell me today, I have all these legacy clients, none of them want to listen to me. Have you talked to them? Well, no, but I don't think they want to listen to me. You gotta actually have the conversations, you have to execute if you're going to get people to buy from you, if they're going to trust you. So yes, they may want cheap IT, but if they don't know any better, it's still McDonald's. You have to be the one that changes them. I know that the market is different right now. I know it's there's a lot of weird stuff going on out there. We see ups and downs constantly with everything financial, crypto, Bitcoin, tariffs, all this other stuff is all over the place, and people are not spending money because they're kind of like, I don't know what to do and I don't know what's going to happen. But we have to be the ones that control it. Execution matters. And when things are difficult, you cannot fall back into, because I have seen this 50 times in the last 6 months. And I've had people actively tell me, I'm just going to go back to good, better, best. Because I can sell somebody cheap. And I will tell you, cheap isn't cheap enough. If you're a price point focused company, I don't care what you're selling, cheap is not cheap enough. And you have straight out, if you go back to good, better, best, or if you go back to a single low price entry offer, you have straight out commoditized yourself and you are, and I'll say it again, you are McDonald's. Period. Now that's fine if that's the world you want to live in, but how does McDonald's make money? It's purely quantity. Somebody just said it. And John's like, that was me. I said that. McDonald's makes money purely on quantity, not because they have the best burgers. Do they serve a purpose? Absolutely. But the bottom line is it's being purchased because it's cheap. And they have to put a store on every damn street corner and every gas station to be functional. Can you afford to function that way? I want you to really think about that. And a lot of people have said to us in the last 3, 6, 9, 12 months, I don't need to sell in market. I just want to be a traditional MSP. If you watched any of the speakers we had today, if you saw Rob McDonald's talk about how GRC is, like all these things are changing. We have a lot of things that are going to evolve over the next couple weeks, months, and years. Keep in mind, 7-figure MSP is traditionally extremely early. I was 3 years early to the cybersecurity $300 per seat game. We were 3 years early to that. But it's still relevant today. It's actually, the rest of the market's finally starting to catch up. Notice how $300 per seat's like the thing everybody says now? It's kind of the standard in the market. So understand that regulation, legislation, compliance, these things are all coming. We're just very early. So you need to get to a place, you have a duty to deliver a best-in-class seat to your client. At the very least, I'll say this, you have a duty to present to them a best-in-class stack. How you package it and present it doesn't really matter, but you have a duty to show them that they should have this. How they choose down the pipeline is up to them. And I'm here to remind you across this entire thing, there is no easy button on any of this. It takes time, it takes execution, and like I said, you have a duty to present all of this to your clients. And again, at the very least, you have to show them that they should be having this. Mike Semmel said to me a couple weeks ago, if you don't know who Mike Semmel is, it's Semmel Consulting. He does compliance programming, and all of our entire compliance back-end service that we have is based on the Semmel system. They're at CompTIA right now, but they'll be here today or tomorrow, I think. But the bottom line is, Mike and I had about a 3-hour, you can't have less than a 3-hour conversation with Mike Semmel, for the record. But I had about a 3-hour conversation with Mike over various different phone calls. 2 years ago, less than 20% of companies in the United States, now I understand I'm only talking about America, we have multiple countries represented here and online. Less than 2 years ago, less than 20% of small businesses had any type of compliance, legislation, regulation, or compliance needs. As of the big, beautiful bill signing on July 4th, it's 86% in America. Now, is there police yet across the board? No, but they've put it in the act that there's going to be police. There's actually finally going to be teeth to HIPAA. There's going to be all these things that we're going to have. Now, so let's go back to my question about why is it the best time ever to be an MSP owner? All of that, we finally have a smoking gun. We're finally in a place where businesses are going to start to say, holy crap, I need IT at this level. Do you want to go back to my good, better, best mindset, or I'm just going to be a traditional MSP because you're just going to be commoditized with everybody else? So I know we're early, but continue to talk the talk, continue to walk the walk. This is absolutely critical stuff as you grow your business. And you cannot price fix your way out of this entire challenge. Like, there's a lot of stuff that we have to be doing here that you can't change your pricing on. And I've gotten barraged over the last, I'm going to say, since Louisville, I've gotten barraged with people that said, I'm just going to try and be the cheapest guy in town because I can't get them I can't get new leads or work with my existing clients the traditional way. So I'm just going to go to being the cheap guy. I'll say it again. Cheap isn't cheap enough. So you cannot price fix your way out of this challenge, and you cannot cost cut your way to profitability. Now, I'm not going to say that you can't trim some fat at times. Absolutely. We've done it internally. You guys watched a lot of changes here at Figure MSP over the last 3-6 months. That's by design. And you need to start, and this comes back to all the way around as I talked in the beginning of my talk, you need to start looking at your own company. Where do I need to be more efficient? Where do I need to be better? There's better opportunities out there. There's different systems. I will start by really looking at every vendor you're partnering with. We bring the vendors here by design that we do because they have the right systems in place. So you have to start looking at your own system, your own setup. How can I be more efficient? How can I be better? And you need to start thinking that I need to think sales and marketing first. I'm not saying tech should suck, ever. That's our main service. I say this a lot when I do my live broadcasts. I have a dentist across the hall from me at headquarters. They're just expected to be you were just expecting them to be a good dentist, right? Like, they're a dentist, they're open for business, they're expected to be a good dentist. That's by design. If they're a good business, is not based on how good of a dentist they are. It'll help. For sure it'll help, because they get return clients that way. But how do we know if they're a good dentist as a consumer? What do we see? Their what? Their marketing. We see their sales. We see their spoken word. We see their video. We see their advertisements. We see them on TV. We see them on YouTube. We see their live presentations. So when you're thinking that I need to be a great service provider, I'm never going to discount that. That's expected. But you need to be a great marketer. You need to be a great salesperson, because that's how they determine that's how they get to meet you. That's what really matters. And I understand the market's kind of weird right now, and I understand we got a lot of weird stuff going on, but people are buying $1 million homes every single day. People are splurging on cars every single day, especially with the big, beautiful bill again. People are buying that Section 174 Act. People are like, I live in Austin, and people are buying G-Wagons like they're going, I can't even keep them in stock. That and Cybertrucks, they can't keep them in stock because they're big and they're heavy and they're 100% bonus depreciation. So people are doing this. So the same people who can't afford IT, according to you, they can't afford IT, they don't want to spend money on IT, magically have the cash to splurge on cars and other business purchases. Why can they do that? In their heads, they see it as, hey, I can do this because it's a tax advantage, or it's a strategy, or I want to do this because it's a necessary part of my business. So you have to think to yourself, why does this entire thing work? They are buying those purchases entirely with emotion. It's kind of funny. I had a Tesla Model S I had 10 years of Teslas. Not because they're EVs, I just thought I'm a former race car driver, so they were the fastest car. And I didn't have to spend 300 grand on a damn Lambo. So I had a Tesla Model S Plaid, and it just came off lease. And I was like, I don't know what I want to do. The cars haven't really evolved. I didn't know whether I wanted to get another one or not, so I just let my lease expire. I turned my car back in, and I bought a Model Y cash. If you guys know the Model Y, it's a little SUV. And it's kind of funny because it goes like the same speed, other than, it doesn't go 210 miles an hour, but you don't really go that fast, but it's got the same acceleration. It kind of feels the same, but it's pretty basic. So I'm like a month and a half into my Model Y now, and I got the itch to go buy something else. Is that itch because of anything else but what? It's emotion, right? So I'm saying to myself, and I'm like looking at that new Cadillac Escalade, and I'm looking at all these like cool ass cars and other stuff, and it's like, and then I think to myself, do I really need a car payment? I don't really care that much, but it's like, so I want you to think about how important emotion is in the buying process, getting in front of your prospect and making sure that they understand every single aspect of it. Now, I want you to understand how critical this is, because if you treat the sale exactly how you treated them when you first started with them, they're going to handle working with you exactly the same way. So you have to be the one that evolves. Because they're not going to evolve, because they're like, the only way they're going to evolve. I want you to think about this. How is a client going to forcefully evolve that's a client of yours? What's going to happen? Cyber attack, right there. That's the only way it's really going to happen. Maybe if they sell their company, but that's not really the best evolution you want. So they can evolve, but they're going to have to evolve from something that's forceful. What can you not do with a cyber attack? You can't control it. Anybody in this room can prevent all attacks? We know better, right? So you got to think about that. So we have to be the one that forces our way in the door. This is what Run the Play is all about. You force your way in the door and you say, I'm not going to take no for an answer. You have to sit down with me. You have to run the play with me. You have to do every single part of this, or I'm going to be a pain in your ass. It can't be, well, they don't want to do this, so I'm just going to go over here and I'll work on this. Oh, by the way, they were $500,000 a year. Shit, now they went with somebody else because somebody else talked to them. You have to be the one that stands up and says, I am going to run the play on them. I'm going to do everything in my power to control this entire sales process, because if you don't control it, you know what's going to happen? At some point, you will lose them. There's no one in this room, including me, that can control all client churn. You can't do it. You can't control all market conditions. They will eventually leave over time. Everyone in this room, everyone watching online, everyone watching on the recording, you know what to do. We all know the process. You're just not consistently doing it. So if you are stuck at all, and I'd say almost everyone in this room is stuck in some capacity, right? Myself included, we're stuck in some capacity in life and business. We got things that we deal with that we struggle with. So I want you to think about why you're personally stuck. Most MSPs are extremely comfortable. Now, they're not comfortable because they're rich. They're comfortable because it's pretty easy to have a decent living. Got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50K of MRR. That's, you think about your average worker bee person. I got a good friend of mine, his name's Kyle. He used to work for Wayfair. And he got let go. Wayfair shut, you know Kyle, right? They shut down the entire Wayfair office in Austin and just like, everybody's done. They gave him 3 months of severance. And he was very comfortable. Very comfortable making 175 grand a year, whatever. Now he's kind of faced with, I don't know what to do. And I'm talking to him all the time. Like he comes, hangs out at the office once in a while, brings me a coffee and we shoot the shit. And he's talking and his mindset, and I just want you guys to understand this. I talked to him about, let's build your own thing up. Let's get you to 10K MRR. And he's like, man, if I had 10K MRR, I don't even know what to do because I wouldn't even need to work anymore. Now think about it. What's 10K MRR to a normal worker bee human being? That's 120 grand a year. But he's like, oh, that's tax-free. I'm like, bro, that's not how this works. But out of the box, he's like, because your first thing when you're trying to work with somebody that's a brand new entrepreneur is let's get you to 10K. Let's get you started. Let's get you to 10K. Let's get you moving along the train track. We got train tracks here, so let's move around the train tracks, right? So he's getting somewhat comfortable, but his brain around 10K or 20K MRR is like, oh my God, like I could just run this little business. That's more money than 20K a month is 240 grand a year. That's more money than he was making working for corporate America, and dude's got 3 master's degrees. So I want you to think about how easy it is with 10 to 20 to 30 grand of MRR to become pretty comfortable. And MSPs are extremely, as a group, very reactive and very addicted to busy work, right? This isn't a knock on you guys, it's just the reality. I had to break myself of this. I loved, literally one of my favorite things, I go back to like 2007, my, what was that, the Action Pack. Remember the Microsoft Action Pack? That shit would come in the mail and I'd be like, ooh. I'd go load up new servers and then VMware came out and it was a whole different animal because I wouldn't have to boot new servers up. I could just go on a VM and start playing. That was fun, right? It's fun to get addicted to all that work. But how much money do you make tinkering with loading new servers and working on clouds and building AI agents and workflows? There's no money there. So it gets very easy to get addicted to that because it's very comfortable. So you have to think about, and side note on this, we solve all of this problem in this program, but it gets very easy to get comfortable. We have to constantly be challenging and working on ourselves. And the real problem in your life, in your business, especially as founders, owners, CEOs, we have to constantly push ourselves to have repeatable execution, because you know what it's not? It's not fun. It's kind of boring. It's hard to be consistent. And what comes because of that? We miss MRR. We lose whales. We lose deals. We lose chaos. We don't know how to manage people. Anybody in this room struggle with managing people? I was a shitty manager for a long. I'm still not the best. I struggle every day with this because we're all a remote team. So I see my people once a quarter. Sometimes a little bit more during the summer because we hang out and do some stuff, but it's once a quarter. We see each other on video on Teams, but it's not a whole lot, and you're talking over text, and you're chatting, and you're moving around. I struggle with my Filipino team. By the way, let's give it up for Leah, who's here from the Philippines. She actually had to corral me last week, and she's like, hey, you really need to talk to the team because they're discouraged because you're an asshole on short text. I'm like, okay. Is that a lie? No. She's like, no. That's the truth. That's a 100% true story. So we had a meeting last week, Monday morning, and we got the whole ops team together, which is all Filipinos. And they're like, wow, you're actually not a jerk. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm really not. I really try. It's just hard because I'm on my phone all the time, and I'm doing 15 things at a time, and I'm driving around, and I'm working on shit, and I'm on my phone all the time. So it's very brevity. I'm the king of brevity, for the record. So please understand that that's the world that your clients live in and your staff lives in. It is on us to change that. Now, what I am really good at, suck at managing, but I am really good at consistent, repeatable execution. I'm very good at that. If you look at any of our socials, I put systems in place. I also am kind of a master delegator now. So I've gotten really good at those things. And when I ask any MSP owner what the problem is, every single MSP owner tells me I need more leads. Every single freaking time. I can't grow. Had literally 5 people today come up to me. I can't grow by running the play. I need more leads. Okay, I'm never going to say that more leads aren't great. But what do the rest of your client base look like? Well, I don't really know, and I'm losing clients because I don't talk to them. That's overall the message that I hear. 5 times a week, every single week. And I know that we can all use more leads, but what good are they if we don't consistently run the play? Now, I know we talk run the play here, but the run the play mindset is just consistency. That's what it is. It's doing the same thing every single time during your sales process. Now, I know some people are going to say, isn't that the definition of insanity? I understand. So we have to modify it and watch. But and I want you to think about the key of run the play is, and I'll go back to sports guy again, when things get out of whack on a football team, on a baseball team, if you're bowling, or if you're playing golf, if you're playing cornhole, nobody in this room can beat me at cornhole, by the way. If you're doing any of these things and stuff goes sideways, what do? We go back to what? We go back to basics. We go back to fundamentals. Run the play should be your consistent set of fundamentals across the board. Every single sales deal, the same basic fundamentals. Can you pivot? Absolutely, you can pivot as long as we are following the premise of what we're talking about. Good example. I got a lead that comes in. They're really excited. They got private equity funding. They got 35 users. They want a quote right away. Old school MSP would do what? Send them a quote. I'll email them over a quote. Quoting the amazing Cindy Phillips, email is where deals go to die. Okay? So we fall back on, okay, we have to run the play. What do? Okay, we have a discovery call. FTA. Book them in, talk to them. Our goal is to make sure that we run a CSRA and we sell them a CSRA. Can we pivot off that a little bit? But yes, run the fundamentals. That's what matters here. And a good thing to remember on all of this is run the play funds all of your marketing. That's how this should work. I'm a marketer first now. Constantly working on, and ask any of my, Tanner, I don't know where Tanner went. Tanner's works with me every single day on sales. All we work on is what? New deals, sales. He's not on it. Can you turn his mic on real quick?
Consistency, we run the play every single day. We have SOPs for when new leads come in, sub 5-minute speed to lead time. We got to improve our systems, make sure we nurture properly. The basics. Experts never don't do the basics.
No, he was sleeping over there, I think. But we work on this every single day, and I'm 9 years in to this program, to this company. We work on this every single day. So I want to ask yourself, I want you to ask yourself, what are you struggling with? Now, we're going to do some mentee stuff in a few minutes, and you guys got a worksheet on your table. I want you to get ready for that. So we're going to do a little workshop here on the fly. Chris doesn't usually do a lot of workshops, but I'm actually organized this time. But I want you to ask yourself, what are you struggling with? We're going to go through this, because running the play starts across the board with consistency. This all matters. So think about your own activities. When a lead comes in, how do we handle it? When you're working a deal, when you have existing clients, how are you managing it? Have you gone through your entire book of business? Have you run the play? And now as we see this with the new compliance and certification and legislation things that are coming, you should be running the play every quarter on every client. Now some of you are going to say, there's no freaking way I can do that with my support team. You have to think of ways, and we're going to be working on this with you over the next few weeks, months here. How do we run the play faster, more efficiently, more repeated? So we're building out systems. We're working on things to improve this for you. But your mindset should be run the play every quarter, every client. And then every single deal. You get amazing at it, amazing at it, amazing at it. That's what should matter. And you are not behind on leads. Now, maybe you are a little bit. We can all use more leads. I'm not going to debate that. I'm never going to say no. But we're also adding to our entire marketing machine on this entire prospect, everything we're talking about. But I want you to think about your own systems, your own platforms, everything that you're working on. Are you as disciplined as you should be? I'll even sit here and say, I'm not as disciplined as I should be. And I'm more disciplined than a lot of people. So I want you to think about that with yourself. And the run the play mindset across the board should be FT, I'll put FTA in front of this, discovery call, but as you get into your existing client, every single quarter, every single client, CSRA, sales call, full pitch, close your deal. Every single client, every single quarter, every single lead that comes in should be run exactly the same way. Now, I understand that there's things that we have to pivot on. Fine. But come back to basics constantly. Keep yourself accountable. Hold yourself responsible to make sure that it happens. And you don't need brand new ideas, because I have had a guy that's a member of this program go out to another group, Facebook group that I commented on today. Member of this program, and he literally defined exactly what we do in this program. He said, I need this. I got 45 new clients. I got 45 existing clients. I need to go back and get more MRR from them. And he's a member of the program. That he's been here for 2 years. I'm like, what are you doing? I don't know. And he said, I don't know what to do. Get in the program. He's like, well, that's not easy to run your program. There's no easy button. I understand it's work. I understand it's hard. But what do we want? So you don't need new ideas. Like, there's nobody on the internet that's going to magically solve your problem for you. You need discipline. You need consistency. And how you do anything in life, and I will tell you, you heard me a couple quarters ago, I was the lazy fat kid 10 years ago. I'm not even lying. Like, that's who I was. Like, I was frustrated with myself, my whole childhood. I don't say my mom, but my mom's a very nice lady, okay? But my family taught me procrastination. And my dad was the biggest, and I love my dad, but he taught me procrastination like nobody I've ever, so I had to fight my way out of that. I had to fight my way out of lack of consistency. And my dad was a school teacher, so everything was just easy. He was comfortable, there was nothing there. So I had to fight my way out of that, and I had to change who I am at the core. And I was kind of coasting through my 30s. I'm 48 years old now, I'm in the best shape of my life. That comes with discipline, it comes with consistency, and how you do everything is how you do anything, or backwards on that, you know? And that discipline piece that I'm talking about gives you freedom. Now, I know it sucks for a little while. Anybody work out consistently in here? Got my team. How fun is that first new set of a leg day? Yeah, it's not real fun, right? But then you know what happens, you kind of change. And it's funny, I hadn't done, a couple of us were in the gym yesterday morning. I hadn't done pull-ups in a while. Literally probably a month I haven't done pull-ups. And I just started doing some pull-ups. I did 18 pull-ups. I'm like, okay, I guess that still works. Because I had laid all the groundwork from before, and now that consistency that I had was freedom to do those pull-ups. When I was 30, I couldn't do a single pull-up. That's what's really key. And now I'm in this place where I don't wing it anymore. Everything is planned, everything is structured, everything is a system. And winners don't wing stuff. They build systems and processes, and now, does that mean it's perfect all the time? No. But when things get out of whack, what do? You run the play. So every phase of my life now, I run the play. It's not just like the signature 7-figure MSP move to get more MRR. If my golf game sucks, which, if anybody plays golf, definitely comes back and sucks once in a while. When you have a bad round, you go to the range and you work from the bottom up and you fix your swing and you work on things. I run the play. So if you're struggling with sales, run the play. If you're struggling with marketing, run the play. If you're struggling with your relationships as a boss, as a CEO, as a founder, run the play. If you're struggling with your marriage life, your home life, your family life, run the play. It's a very good, consistent message, and all it means is I'm going to go back to basics and be super consistent in my life. I promise you, if you meet with your team, if you're struggling with your team, if you meet with them every single day for the next 30 days, what's going to happen? What, Vince? They're going to get better. Speaking of Vince, I got you on my screen here. He doesn't even know this is coming. So speaking of running the play the right way, let's talk about Vince. Vince in the room. Hey, buddy. He didn't know this was coming, so that's good. This came from Cindy, actually, which is really nice. She's very proud of you, by the way. So Vince is in the room. Vince, stand up. Give everybody a wave. You got to stand up, buddy. Stand up, wave. Do your princess wave. Hey. So Vince had 25K in MRR, closed in 9 months with Profits Mastery. How's Profits Mastery going for you? Absolutely awesome. So Cindy runs an accountability program with us called Profits Mastery. An additional 36K working in pipeline with the expectation of 80% close on pipeline. Would you say that's accurate?
Yeah, pipeline's a little lower now because we closed stuff.
Because you closed some deals, so that's perfect. Yep.
Oh, you want me to stand up the whole time?
Well-balanced pipeline mix of vertical industries and deal sizes, as well as 35 to 40% uplift on renewing clients with scope expansion. So congrats on that. And here's where the difference is, and this is just, let's give Vince a hand on that. Now, this is where the difference, and feel free to comment on any of this because you didn't know this was coming.
This is all Kyle. This isn't me.
Well, that's okay. It's still your company. That's cool. But this is where I think this matters, and this is where I think this is important. So Vince attended sales accountability for 90 days and then delegated to your sales closer, right? Correct. So this is where running the play consistently with some accountability matters. Now, I'm not saying you have to be in Profits Mastery, but if you need coaching help, this is the kind of accountability and systems that you have to put in play. The bottom line is consistency works. Any disagreement on that from you guys?
No.
Okay, great comment. No. Sales closer closed business for 90 more days before they hired an SDR. They've been through 2 or 3 SDRs, but it looks like they hired a winner 2 weeks ago. Accurate? So
4 weeks ago.
4 weeks ago? Okay. Time's a little off. That's Cindy's fault. Cindy, bad. No.
Come on, Cindy.
So the bottom line, though, consistency. And what do we think this is doing to your profit?
Our profit is up almost 30%.
Just from consistently running the play. Would you agree with that? Absolutely. Let's give these guys a hand. So discipline matters. Now, we didn't change the play. We didn't go back to the cheapest offering. We didn't go back to good, better, best, correct? Did not do any of that stuff. Still running the exact same sales play, just more consistency, more discipline, hammering, not taking no for an answer, not allowing the client to dictate the path, not allowing the client to say, I don't need that, I don't want that, I don't want security, I don't want these things. They don't even know what they want. Anybody ever hear the Henry Ford story about when he built the first automobile? If he said actively, if I would have asked people what they wanted, they would have said, a faster horse. So he built a car because they didn't know. Most people are very comfortable. It's very easy for them to just sit in what they do because it hasn't changed. We have to be the ones that show them what it's going to be like if and when a cybersecurity attack hits them. You have to run the play. I promise you this changes everything. I don't care what type of client you have. I don't care what type of decision maker it is. This works. Consistency matters. Okay, we're going to do a little workshop. So let's get our Menti phones ready. Maria, you ready? Okay, we'll see how the hell well this shit works. Okay. All right, so here's our Menti screen stuff. So we know why this is kind of buggy by the record. You're supposed to run it out of Menti. This is the PowerPoint plugin, and it's kind of a pain in the ass. So for the record, if you're going to add this stuff, you can run it out of Menti, and it's perfect. But if you add the PowerPoint plugin, it gets a little wonky. Okay, so we got people logging in. I love to see that. You can tell that by the little thumbs up on the bottom. You guys that are online, we got you there too. So here's our first question. Where are you not running the play? You should have options to put this in. It should come. Oh wait, never mind. That's user error. Never mind. User error, it's the ID10T error. Okay, so here's examples that I have for you that you can put in. Not doing CSRAs with existing clients will be one option you can choose. Not booking true FTAs with new leads. That I get too excited and send a quote thing. Not running through the full sales process, skipping steps, right? That's there. Not doing follow-ups or not tracking our pipeline. Those are different options for you. Go ahead, Maria. Now, there we go. Refresh. It's definitely working. People are signing in. There we go. So what's so key about this, guys, and let's see what we got. That's really small on the bottom. Let's see. So not following up consistently is key. Also, not booking first-time appointments with new leads consistently. Look at our winner, though. Not following up consistently overall. Now, what's so key about this, run the play has to have its roots in both marketing on the front side and then sales as we get to the process as we go. So it's so key that we're consistent both on the marketing side, making sure that we reach them consistently, follow up consistently. Anybody know how many follow-ups it typically takes to get to a prospect to get them to actually book with you? It's like 9 now. 5 years ago, it was like 4. The human being attention span is less than that of a fly. This is measured and actually real now. So what do we see here? Not following up is a massive winner. Second, not booking first-time appointments with new leads. So we're not following process consistently. So on the marketing side, it is massively important that you are booking people. It is massively important that you don't get super excited and jump the gun. You got to stay on top of this. You got to work on it. Now let's talk our next one. What's the excuse? Now most people, it's funny because almost everyone comes to me and they're like, I have all these reasons. If you believe the excuses enough, they become reasons to you. But usually they're just excuses. I don't have time for the gym. I need to focus. I don't have time to work on sales. I don't have time for marketing. I need to focus on tech work. I hear this one all the time, like literally constantly. Now, I understand we have shit to do. I get it. If you really want to, you could spend literally 24 hours a day, 365 days a week working on tech stuff. But if you're going to do that, you might as well just get a what? Might as well just get a job, honestly. Because the whole point of this entrepreneurship thing, isn't it to be different? Isn't it to be freedom? Is it like freedom and like I want to live a different life? I want to have a lifestyle? Isn't that why we do this? No? Nobody here? Yes. That's why I do it. I'm also unemployable, so there's that. My team's not ready. I can't move on this. What's that law, Lindsay? Parkinson's law? She's not even listening. I think it's Parkinson's law. Actually, there's a quote for it's the same thing. Elon Musk had a thing that he said, if you give yourself 3 days to clean your apartment or your house, it'll take you how long? 3 days. If you give yourself 30 minutes, it'll be pretty damn good in 30 minutes. So your whole mindset around sales, marketing, lead gen, the only thing better than perfect is done. Go, move on it. I know your team's not ready. Are they ever going to be ready? Nope, they'll never be ready. You'll never be ready. So it's funny, Lindsay did her MRRCon presentation, and I said on that presentation 2 months ago, that was the end of June, I said on that presentation I was going to do a webinar on July 10th. I did a webinar on July 10th. I said today, I don't remember the date that I said, but I think it was like August 12th or something like that. I'm going to do another webinar on that date. I hold myself accountable. I have discipline. Do you have the same stuff? Also, leads aren't qualified. So here comes our next one. Go ahead, Maria. So what's your favorite excuse? Let's see what we got here. How am I doing on time? Oh, I'm really good, huh? Okay. Is this working? I love this shit, but I hate this shit. Don't put any stuff in here about my mom either. It's not my job. Okay, I like that. Vacations. Actually, I had somebody tell me a couple of weeks ago, I need to take off for 3 months from sales and marketing because I'm going to be on vacation. And I said, okay, do you have more money than you know what to do with? And they said, not even close. And I don't even understand. How do you take off of work for 3 months? I don't know. Maybe I'm out of whack. I don't know. Okay, this is pretty cool. What a great word cloud. Time management. My clients are too cheap. Time, talent. Somebody's got a talent problem. If you got a talent problem, I don't know if I can help. Chris's mom, god damn you guys. She's watching right now too. I guarantee you I got a text message because I dropped an F-bomb on stage. I taught you better than that. Yeah. So I want you to see like the same excuses that you have, everyone has. They're not reasons, guys. When does it stop? When do the excuses stop? When do we hold ourselves accountable? When do we say I'm going to have more discipline? Now, I know I sound like a broken-ass record, but it's literally the difference. I'm not some, like, massively brilliant guy. I graduated high school. I didn't go to college. Okay? I just have more discipline. I execute like a mofo. I really do. My team gets annoyed because they're like, can we please stop going so fast? No. All right, next one we got. I want you guys to come out of this making a commitment today, and we're going to work through our worksheet in a minute here. And we're going to get up on some mics and we're going to talk on some stuff. Will you commit to running the play for 30 days straight with me? And what can you commit? Maria, one more. So what can you guys commit to running for 30 days for me? I don't care if it's run the play on sales. I don't care if it's I'm going to go on a 2-mile walk every day. What can you commit to that's going to make your life, your business, your relationships, your marketing program, what can you commit to that's going to be better? Somebody just put in 5. What is 5? Oh, is that testing? Okay. Marketing play, consistent content generation, one thing daily. I love that. 75 hard. Good with that. That shit's hard, by the way. It's 100 hard as far as I'm concerned. Taking more vacations, daily marketing team check-in, walking 10,000 steps, learn to play and run it. Run sales and marketing play. I'm going to post daily on business socials. Sleeping. That's a good one, I guess. I don't know what to say on that. So, okay, I'm going to keep going. Maria, give me next slide here, if you can, please. I can't go. Okay. So here's, when we get out of whack, here's what I want you to do to bring yourself back to fundamentals. Decide once. Stop rethinking every single thing every single day. This is an important thing. How many people here struggle with procrastination? Okay? This is a major thing for me, for my whole life. I fixed this in the last 10 years of my life. So if you're ever with me, my team gets annoyed because I'm like, they watch me when there's an assignment happen. You'll see me go to my phone immediately and do it. Like I'll actually type something in. But I've personally said, I am going to hold myself accountable. Once I explain it to everybody, they get it, but I hold myself accountable to saying, when I have something that is going to be a task that I see in the future, I do it right then. And if I can do it in a minute, I do it right then. And if I can't do it in a minute, then I give myself a note to do it at a later time. That's kind of my internal rule, and that's how I hold myself accountable to that. So if I can do it in a minute, I do it right there. That's my internal rule and how I hold myself accountable to not having procrastination, because however good you guys are at procrastination, I was way better. I promise you, I was really, really good at it. I definitely win at that. So also, execute without edits. Really work on just get it done. Perfectionism is a problem. It's a massive problem in this industry as a whole, specifically because we're so engineer-minded. And we want things to be perfect and great and awesome that first time. But we gotta push ourselves to be the only thing that's better than perfect is done. And you gotta push yourself. And every time you catch yourself doing some stuff like this, you gotta correct, immediately correct, immediately correct. And I know this stuff's hard. Like, I understand that it's hard. Change is difficult. It's a hard world to come into and say, I'm gonna do these things differently. But you kinda gotta say, like, being not successful, going through the same struggles I'm going through, fighting these same things is really challenging, right? And this change is also really challenging, right? So you gotta choose your heart. Which one do you want? Because discipline is freedom. And then you have to constantly recommit. There's definitely down days. My team knows that I have some shit days. It's a lot to put on a human. I'm not private equity backed. I'm not venture capital backed. I'm not owned by other companies. I'm owned by me. I'm 100% self-funded. I'm bootstrapped. This is hard some days. Really, really hard some days because I'm fighting. Understand, almost every vendor in that room, equity backed. Not every, I'd say 50%. But think about most of your MSP vendors. They're not equity backed or owned by some type of cash machine. I'm battling those worlds against everybody else. So it's really a challenge at times. So I have to constantly recommit daily and work on that. So I want to ask who you're going to be. You're either going to leave this room saying, I should, or maybe I did, or maybe I didn't put this on there, but I'm going to. That's really key. So what I want to do, I want to take a couple minutes here. We got our worksheets in front of us. Let's fill these out, and then as we get done, I want you guys to come to the mic stands. Let's get these mic stands up here, and I want you guys to line up on the mic stands. Let's talk through this. We got about 10 minutes that we can walk through this on. Can I get some Jeopardy music? Could we do that? So let's work through these. Hold yourself accountable and let's work on this, guys. I don't do many workshops, and I want to hold you accountable to do this. Okay? Jeopardy music. Oh, there's a fly in my tea. That's good Jeopardy music. Mo, hey, Ronaldo, can you throw, I'm talking to the guys on Zoom. Ronaldo, can you throw the PDF to Mo, please, so the people online can get this guide? Because I don't think anybody online got it. And I don't have my phone, so somebody's gonna have to do that. Leah, can you make sure that happens, please? Go back to basics. All right, as we get done, let's come up to the mic stands. I want to hear some evolution and some change here. You guys aren't writing. You don't have one? Can we get Claude a copy, please? Leah's got one for you. Who's gonna be the first victim for me? Come on. There we go. Luke's gonna be my first victim. Luke, where are you not running the play right now?
Because I'm not ready yet.
Okay,
So-
that's okay. But where are you at? How do you feel on it?
Well,
Or how about as a company where you're not running the play?
well, I feel comfortable to do it, to practice, but just not in front of a client. So I think I just need to trust my instincts that I am ready.
Okay, that's a good start. So I'm not going to call those that's actually a reason, but I think between you and your dad, I think let's get going sooner than later, right? I'd put a timeline on the calendar and say we're going to go. And as fast as you can go, you feel comfortable, but let's push a little bit more than not. Okay? Anything you want to point out on here?
What is it?
Anything you want to point out? Maybe
no,
your reframe statement? How can you hold yourself accountable to actually say, I'm going to do this by this date? How about that?
So I had written down that I need to trust my instincts that I am ready to run the play.
Okay,
I
I like
don't know
that.
if that falls in line with
That totally
what
falls
you're
in line
looking
with
for.
it. Yep. And how about a commitment to run the play in 30 days? That's bottom left.
Yes.
How about we get you in front of a client in the next 30 days?
Yes.
Okay. How's
All
that
right.
sound, Naveed? I love it. Okay. I like that. Let's give Luke a hand. Anyone else want to come up here and talk through why you're not running the play right now and something in your life? That's a lot of not sacrifice. Okay, I'm going to go. Tanner, I want you to go on this. Where can we run the play better?
Ooh, okay. Oh, my mic's on. Sweet.
There you go.
Right now, we can definitely run the play better on when new leads come in. Obviously, we've been restructuring with the SDRs and our onboarding process and nurturing. I think we can be a little bit more effective at ensuring that the message that we want to send out is getting to people and putting data, like getting trackers in place so that we can make sure that our data is clean so that we can make calculated decisions.
Yeah, I like that. So I want you to hold me accountable that we're going to have a full tracking system, you, me, and Mo, by the end of July.
Perfect.
So that's like by the end of this week. That's how fast I go. You know that. Yeah. John, are you going? Yeah. Okay. John Hansman, go ahead. Thanks, Tanner.
You know you can always count on me.
I know, buddy. I know, buddy.
Hey, so one of the things I've been auditing my pipeline and realizing that over the last year, I've probably lost 3 good deals from lack of follow-up.
So you guys hear that? He lost 3 good deals in the last year from lack of follow-up.
Just not, yeah, it's just somewhere I'm looking back at emails and I'm like, well, actually some of them just weren't in the pipeline. So one of the things I'm going to commit to do is I'm going to commit to look at my pipeline daily and work my pipeline every day. So Roanne, you're watching. Let's go.
Yeah. No, what I will tell you that, one of the big challenges that a lot of salespeople have is, and we know this, we've been through this challenge, Tanner and I internally, most of them struggle with updating their CRM properly and staying on top of it, right?
Yeah. Second one is to work LinkedIn daily. I think that there's an untapped resource in LinkedIn that I'm just not using.
Yeah.
And then my last one is to put out a video content piece daily, whether it's a live or whether it's a quick shot on my selfie shot on my phone that I give out to my assistant or whatever. You hear that, Roanne?
I feel like Roanne's been like a massive shift in John Hansman.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
honestly, it's been a
well,
major change.
I'm ADD, you know, and so I have somebody who really keeps me focused. I literally have on my Remarkable, for those of you who make fun of me online for my Remarkable, you're welcome. But I literally every day she sends me my task list and I write it on my Remarkable and then I check it off as I go through the day.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Okay, great job, John. Anyone else want to volunteer? Let's give John a hand. Okay, we're almost at time anyway. Any last people want to give a shot on this? All right, so the last thing I'm going to leave you with is I want you to really run the effing play. Every single piece of your life, I want you to think about how important this is. Every time you run into adversity, every time you run into a challenge, every time you feel like you're not getting far enough down the pipeline, come back to basics, work on things internally and with yourself, and run the play. All right, guys, my name's Chris. Have a great night. Thanks for coming. We'll see you later.